What's funny is we mess with my one buddy when because like we'll go to the pool or something and he takes his shirt off and it's he's got an X, a hairy X on his chest and on his back, and we're like, oh look, it's like the X-Men. I'm like, what's your superpower?
My friends say
All
that.
right, so it looks like we're live. It just kicked us live.
We just went us live. Okay, great.
All right.
Growing pains, yay!
Hey, we already got 3 watching. Make that 4.
Right on.
Mute
We're
that.
just kicking right into it today. What's up, everybody? Yeah, this is the continuation of GAD. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear us in the chat. Let me know how the audio levels are. I think I'm a little loud, but we'll see. Kylo Milo, you hear us fine?
Yeah, your audio's good.
Can you hear my
do that.
Are you watching the stream as well?
Yes, I am. Do that one thing that you were talking about that we couldn't hear.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, so let's say like so you got that one?
I'm waiting for us to catch up. You got us so far behind.
I'll hit it a couple times. Just in case you don't listen to me.
No, I don't see it. I don't hear it.
It's not coming through?
No.
That's a shame.
Whatever.
We'll try and fix that along this next
As long as everyone can hear my hands going a mile an hour, I'm good. If the keys get sticky and I have to log off, I had technical difficulties. Sorry.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. Like I said, in the descriptions, we'll be adding things weekly to this, and this is the kind of trial week. So I got Dreadpool here to save me for one of my missing panel members. But thanks, Dread. Let everyone know where they can find you, buddy.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for having me. I'm glad I'm here for the inaugural show. I was here for the obituary that GAD had originally. I thought, to be honest, this was going to be called GADS, GADS, for Gamers Against Titans Smite. But that's it had to go there, right? No, so
there was a lot of hints and suggestions about destroying me.
Whatever. It's not a big deal. We all have fun with it, and like I said, I appreciate you inviting me as the first official guest. I guess I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that crown anyway. But yeah, you can find me on Gaming Beyond the Box at 8 p.m. Breakfast Boom at 10 a.m. and then I do my own thing, which is Breaking Bread with Dread on Anchor FM, which is also on Spotify, Google, Apple, all the different podcasts. So you can find all that stuff. And then on my YouTube channel, I've got mixed everything. So it's a smorgasbord or whatever you want to see that I have. It's game streaming, videos, even some of the past Breaking Bread with Dread is on video.
Any porn videos?
Well, that's right now. I'm actually naked, so you guys get to see.
Too bad the super chat is disabled.
Well, we're gonna build him up there. We're gonna get him there. So he's further along on the YouTube to get super chats than I am. So I can't even help that way. But you know what? Speaking of, Mr. Titan Drago was at 343, and then I had to screw it up by subscribing to him today.
Oh, 343 Studios. The first time you said that, I didn't get it. You had to say it again.
Like 5 times.
So what you're saying is Drago's delayed?
He is.
Since you were talking about things that you want to be noticed as the first guest. Well, I also wanted to be known and spread the word that I was not the first one to bring up Smite.
No.
So you also have that title too.
I'm an anti-smiter. I brought that up.
Anti-smite medic or something?
Whatever.
And after Dreadpool, we also got the Wise Old Gamer, and he is going to be my official panel member. Wise, why did you join this show and everything? Why are you here?
Because you need gamers on this podcast, not somebody like Drago. That's why we call it Gamers and Drago, because Drago is not a gamer. So hickory dickory dock, I was jacking in Drago's sock. The clock turned 2. I filled it with goo and watched Drago swallow the sock.
That's one of the reasons I got him on here. It's one reason I had to give him as a panel member.
Wow.
Anyways,
Wow.
we got lots of topics tonight to get into. The first topic I want to get into is about, it was an article, well, this one's from pushsquare.com, but it's been everywhere. And it's Sony confirming PlayStation Plus subscription stacking that is getting Xnayed. What do you guys think about this just to start with? What do you guys think are your initial reactions to this? Are you surprised by it?
Not surprised, but it's right along the normal grounds that they are with deceptive practices.
Mm-hmm.
We always knew Sony wasn't stacked. Only Xbox has the big tits that I like. So yeah, I get that. No, but what doesn't make sense to me is this, right? I totally get it. Everyone sort of trumpets Xbox's inflated Game Pass numbers by saying, oh, wow, look, they're inflated because you can get it for $1. Oh, I got it till 2025 for $1. It doesn't make any sense for me because, yeah, those people who are stacking it would be people who are in the know, right? How many people actually know how to work the system? Less than 1%. So it can't be because of the money. I can understand them doing it and closing up the loophole once it got bigger, but that way they can say, like Xbox does, look at our inflated numbers. And as we know, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. So it made more sense to me, even on a business level. Why not just go ahead, let people stack it, work the system? You're looking at less than 0.5% of the population doing it anyways. Get your numbers up the way you want it, and then, of course, silently cut it. That's the thing. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Real quick shout out to the chat. Oh, my gosh. The Don Mega, man. How is it going, dude? Long time no see. I hope you join us as much as you can, buddy. Things have been crazy here. So this week we're putting the house up for sale. We're putting offers on houses, doing job interviews. So this week has literally been just nutty. Chris Beasy, what's up, man? Changed your name up there a little bit. Didn't know your first name was Chris. Awesome to see you, buddy.
Yeah, so
we got my wife, Princess Zelda, in the chat. What were you going to say, Dredd?
I was going to say everything you were just talking about earlier, you're able to stack that, but you can't stack your PlayStation. Just saying.
Hey, I got a question. Are we okay on streaming because my YouTube froze?
Yeah, we're still live. We're still moving.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Looks good so far.
Okay, cool. It's my shitty computer, basically. So
kick it into gear, man. You got to tell it a joke. That's like the life.
Yeah,
everything that goes on in your house.
Well, it's okay. My controllers are sticky, but not my computer. At least not yet. I've not done anything yet. That's later on after the show.
Get another blue pill.
Hey, those things are expensive.
Would it only take one?
Oh no! Right now, I'm freebasing them. I'm snorting it. Some people, cut it with a credit card, roll up a dollar bill, and go like that right there. So that's the way
he needs.
You
know what that reminds me of is that Simpsons episode where they brought up the Duff. It was like a tanker. It's like an oil tanker filled with Duff, and he's like, "Just plug it into my veins."
Yeah, the last time Wise Old Gamer was talking about, he said he only needed like a half or to a quarter. He just wanted to not pee on his shoes anymore.
Exactly. That's the main thing, Now, it's what we call tolerance. And if you see my wife these days, I don't know if there's something called the anti-Viagra, but definitely she would be it. So it takes more now. I can say that because she's gone for a walk and she can't hear me. So if anyone knows her, you didn't hear anything.
Yeah, the thing with this PlayStation stacking, they don't have any scruples, right? They don't care. It just keeps seeming to me like they have no limits on the anti-consumerism practices that they have, and they keep throwing it out there, and their fan base is just they just keep accepting it.
Okay. Oh, whoa. You threw out a word, anti-consumer, right? How do you
Mhm.
say this is anti-consumer? This is just business. They have a loophole. They see a loophole and they plugged it. Did they plug it a little bit too prematurely? Yeah, but how is that anti-consumer?
By comparison, because that's a good question. When your competition had the same scenario, X amount, how long ago was this? 2 years ago, about maybe 3, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
And Xbox did this thing. It's like they saw it coming, and you can either choose as a company to take the hit and be pro-consumer, or do like what PlayStation is doing. And as soon as you see people, because the gamers have already seen this with Xbox, right? They're like, Xbox put a cap on it, like 3 years. 3 years Xbox Live will upgrade you for $1, right?
How much for one rib?
Well,
when PlayStation does it, they're like, as soon as people are like, hey, we can do that same kind of thing, they're like, nope.
But how is that?
And I got a soundbite for that, but it's unfortunately not working.
That's bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry to say that. Okay, look. Okay, Xbox was on the losing side. They had to do something. They created this Game Pass. They wanted everyone to funnel in because at that time when they launched it, nobody was on Xbox. What, they had 50 million consoles sold? I think it was like 2-1. Even the freaking Switch came out and already lapped them, you know? So they needed to do, it was a Hail Mary pass. And they're like, we don't give a fuck how you get on here. Just get on here, just, suck this thing, please, PlayStation, this is an afterthought for PlayStation, and you know that PlayStation's bread and butter is their $70 games, and this is
not just their $70 games. Why don't you keep going? What else is their bread and butter?
Their $70 games and their movies, and that's it. That's what's keeping them alive.
Dreadpool, maybe you could answer this question. See, if I got my counter right now, I'd be taking points away from you, Wise. Dreadpool, what does PlayStation, besides their $70 games, what else are they known for?
Copy and paste, baby. It doesn't matter what game or which version of the remake.
Thank you. That's one. What else? There's one other one I'm looking for.
I'm talking about the third-person narrative, the copy and paste.
Right. There's that.
And then the remakes. So that's 2 and 1.
Two.
The remake, remaster, I got
one more.
One more?
What?
I don't know.
10%.
Oh, the $10 increase?
Yeah. The $10
gaming increase?
Upgrades, right?
Okay, and that's another thing. Everyone's bitching about this thing, right? There were $70 games back with the Nintendo era. That the Legend of Zelda
games in the Nintendo era.
Anyone forget about the whole Neo Geo? Those little bastards were $250 a cassette.
Exactly.
So yeah, if they went up $10,
and
who gives a fuck? It's a good game.
And
go ahead.
Think of inflation from back then. What would the price be now? So we've gotten too coddled with it. I'm not giving them a free pass for that $70 for that $10 upgrade. I'm not giving them that. My issue is when you do something like that, it's the same game. I should be able to play, and especially if I'm playing it cross-platform, I should be able to play it no problem. But you're going to charge me $10 for features that are on a console that I paid for. That's really the issue, not the fact that it's $10 more for the game because now it's on a PS5 versus the PS4, where the Xbox and PC, right? PC doesn't matter what the graphical upgrade is or what other features you add to it, if you add a steering wheel or not, or rumbles or not. It's all part of the game. Everything else is extra that you paid for, right? So you paid for the rumble seat. You didn't pay for the game to have the rumble seat. That's all part of the game. And this is what's going on is people are using it as, it's this. No, it's the extra $10 is because my joysticks rumble a certain way and I can blow into it between its legs. This is what's going on. That's more so. Everybody's picking on the wrong thing to nitpick and grab onto. You've already paid for this console. Why am I paying to utilize these features?
So what you're saying is you would have been okay with them just doing a flat increase across the board that, hey, if you're going to get Forbidden West, it's $70 or go fuck yourself, basically what you're saying?
I would say that would be more likely, yes. Not saying that I'm okay with it, but like I said, we've been coddled with these prices because for the longest time these prices were 50, $60, and then all of a sudden they started dropping down to $40. We got used to
So what
40,
caused
$50
that?
games. What caused that? Lack of demand. Because there wasn't that many games. We didn't have that many options for these games. There was a lot of games that came out there that were crap, and there was not as much of a demand. There was a decline in gaming, and this is after the Atari portion of it, right? So after all that, there's a decline in gaming because we had Sega going out, TurboGrafx fell out. If there wasn't a decline, they would not have fallen. So there was a decline there. It's just not as notable. And that's why prices started going down. Neo Geo, $250 for a big ass cartridge that's just like bigger than a purse, and that's what you jammed in there, right? Was it the Neo Geo?
Mhm.
Was it
Yeah, it was the Neo
yeah, the
Geo.
Neo Geo.
I think the console itself was like what, it's like, no, $600 I think was the
Yeah,
console.
it was way up there, and that was back then.
Right.
You know, so we're bitching about right now. Reese's cup got smaller, and we're paying $3 for it, almost $4 for it. When back in the day, they were paying like, I don't know, they had penny candy. So back then it was probably like 50 cents for like a box of Reese's. You know what I mean? So when you figure all that out, and it's just everything adds up. Eventually, this is not going to last long. It's just, as gamers, we need to stand up and be like, look, I should be paying more for this feature. But like you said, if I'm paying $70 on the PS4, then I can understand paying $70 for the PS5. It's just the feature set is
it's like, well,
odd.
I agree with you on this part, because back in the day, buying a $70 game and having it turn out to be a bust, that sucked like no other, especially because back then, like when the Nintendo 64 era, we were all really young. And like I don't know about you guys, but I grew up pretty poor. And when you get a $70 game, that's pretty rare. And then when it sucks, like, oh boy.
And we only got, I'm sure you got at least one or two, one for your birthday and one for Christmas. And that was typically what we got. You know, my brother and I had to share our Christmas present. Get it?
We did the whole thing in school. Yeah. I mean, in the whole neighborhood.
Get it?
We did the whole neighborhood. Like some of us, like before Christmas, when we made our list, so a couple of us would put a couple of games down. Another group would put another couple of games down. And then at like Christmas Day, we'd open all our games and meet in the neighborhood, like parking lot, and we would be exchanging games and everything. So that's how we did it. We circumvented the whole situation, but I get it. Yeah. But
my buddy Alan Michael Woon says, let's talk about jerky prices. That's the big issue.
I mean, the price, I mean, like, yeah, I can understand things getting more expensive for less. Like, I can agree, like, Viagra is going up in price, but my dick is getting smaller and smaller with every use. So I don't understand.
Isn't it weird, though? Like, beef jerky, you wouldn't figure that would be so as expensive as it is. Why is that so expensive?
Everything. It's inflation, everything in the world right now.
It's because of Putin.
That's all that. I mean, it's like dried meat with a lot of salt on it, basically. Like, I don't get it. He's right.
Are we still talking about jerky or my penis?
Jerky.
Okay.
I try to stay away from the other one as much as possible, but you keep bringing it up.
Yeah, no bat wings.
Yeah, but I mean, back at this whole PlayStation thing. Yeah, them stacking it. To be honest with you, I don't fault them for plugging a loophole. Do I think they plugged it a little bit too early? Yeah, I think so. But again, it's just part and parcel for Sony because, again, this is okay. Look, the main thing for Sony, the main reason they're doing this is because they don't want to get fucked over like they did during the Xbox Live generation. When the PlayStation 2 came out, online was an afterthought. So when Xbox came in with the Xbox Live, they were playing catch up, and they know they can't do that right now. The writing is on the wall. You know, this is not the same Microsoft that they had for the Xbox One. They got a Microsoft that wants to fight. So that's why they're doing it. They don't want to do it. They don't like doing it, but they have to do it because they don't want to play second fiddle like they did during the whole integration into online gaming. So yeah.
All right, real quick shout out to the chat, and then I'll let you finish this up, Dreadpool. Toolman, Kylo Milo, Tony Grasso, man, welcome, buddy. Don Mega, like I said before, Alan Michael Wooten, thanks, man. It's been such a long time. It's good hanging out with you guys again, man. Invader Gaming, Crazy Greek Dude, you guys are all awesome. Share this out, will you? Tell a buddy or two. Let's get some more people in here. Go ahead, Dreadpool.
Yeah, it's just, unfortunately, they're using it to their advantage. And the same thing happened with the like Wise Old Gamer said with Xbox and the 360 / PS2, PS3. You know, they used what they could to their advantage, was basically negligence on the part of the consumer. You know, when they're like, well, if I can pay on the one for online and I can get the online for free on the other, I'm going to go with that. What do you think happened with PS4? A lot of my friends went to the PS4 because on PS3 it was free. Then they found out, nope, we kind of dicked you over on that one. You know, so, and that's the thing. They're always misleading, deceptive. You look at and this is one of my favorite consoles in the day. You know what I mean? The PS was the go-to console. You know, the only time we went to the Nintendo 64 was so we can play Raw. You know, we were playing wrestling games or Mario Kart. So it just to see where they were when they fought.
You started playing with it Raw during the Nintendo 64 generation? Wow,
yes,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, Raw Dog.
Wow.
Yeah, it was right around that time too.
Yeah. So, so back then, you know what I mean? They fought for for the consumers, right? PS2, I think, gave them the inflated head because they, yet again, they've got the largest library on any generation was on the PS2. You know, and we'll see how this plays out in the coming future. But this is, you know, they didn't have to fight as hard for PS3 and PS4. I mean, Xbox handed it to them on the PS4. So there's so much going on, and I think they just got
PlayStation go ahead.
I think they got their heads inflated because they got the community brainwashed, and then in turn they brainwashed themselves into they can do no wrong. I mean, who cancels a game that was already pre-ordered and canceled, but yet they won't cancel it, so they cancel the whole subscription. So everything you owned is gone because they took it back to their credit card company. I mean, seriously, what kind of company does that? That's a company that doesn't care about you. Not saying that Microsoft cares about you. Don't get me wrong.
Microsoft is forced to care about you.
Right Dreadpool, did you see that thing? Like if your PlayStation 5 was activated in one country, like something about you couldn't move it to another country?
No, I didn't see that, but I heard some things about that, but I haven't really seen the whole thing.
I think that's going to come to the light of day real soon, yeah, because I think me and you saw the same thing, and I'm just waiting for like an official story from an official outlet on that. But yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not willing
I saw you. We'll say that again?
I'm not willing to test it out to brick the console.
Yeah, right. And that is what would happen. That's what they would do to you. You know it.
PlayStation does not know how to compete. Let's be honest with each other. The reason PlayStation 4 won last generation is because Xbox pretty much shot their own self in the penis. All right. They pretty much said when the launch of the Xbox One, here, PlayStation, please fuck us over and fuck us over dry, you know? But with the PS3 generation, they pretty much, I know everyone's gonna say, but why? They won the PS3 generation. Yeah, they won it at the last fucking end. Okay, I got it. But they lost that generation. Okay, they for the most part. Then they couldn't compete, and the only reason they were able to win the PS4 generation was, as I said, because Xbox handed it to them. So it's going to be really interesting to see what PlayStation does now, because I honestly think, honest to God, PlayStation doesn't know how to compete. That's me, and I'm just putting it out there.
I think they know how to compete. I don't think they want to. I don't think when you're the top dog, you don't want to move, right? You're happy with what you're doing because you're making they're not the love child, but they're the shining star of Sony. And so when they're the company that's making them money, they don't want to change their ways, and I think that's the biggest issue. And also, I saw a lot of blaming Putin in the chat, this and that, but like Putin is like literally responsible for the delay, the indefinite delay of Stalker 2. So
yeah,
is it going to be a gamer that finally assassinates that mug just because of this game being delayed?
Yeah, but the way I look at it is senioritis. Because when she gets to a certain point, I mean, I had senioritis when I was a freshman. All right, I came down from up north, came down to Florida, and they're like, "Oh, we use the same books," and I'm like, "No, I did this stuff 2 years ago, so I didn't know how to study." So why do I need to study if I already know this stuff? And this is what they're doing, the same thing. Why do I need to do it if we're winning? They don't care right now. And they're gonna find out the hard way because it's the same status quo. Just keep doing it.
Isn't senioritis when you start masturbating, but midway through you forget who you're masturbating to? Sorry. No, see.
The thing is,
go ahead.
Because yeah, the senioritis. So you're starting to see more and more news outlets. I think I've seen 3 in the last couple weeks saying how Xbox now has the mind share, and they're getting the mind share, and now it's like a lot of them are actually acknowledging it that Xbox has the mind share of the gamers now, and you're seeing it more and more on Twitter every day. I see more and more people defending Xbox and actually attacking PlayStation, and that just didn't exist a year ago whatsoever.
Hey, even BitCloud, some of their fanboys, some of their staunch fans are also, I don't want to say switching sides, but sort of seeing the virtues of Xbox. Like, I remember for the longest time, BitCloud was staunch in PlayStation's camp, but now he's sort of like supporting what Xbox moves are. And let's be honest, Xbox is doing it because they have to. Otherwise, they're basically fucked over. So this is why they're doing it. The question is going to be what happens when they do become number one. Do they become cocky like they did going into the Xbox One generation? That's going to be the interesting thing to find out, So
see, there's a difference between being a gamer and having a preferred platform versus being a zombie for the company and just no matter what. I mean, some of these zombies are starting to wake up, Big Cloud has always been a gamer. He's always been someone that, he loves his PlayStation, but he knows what's what, And these other zombies are just sitting there doing whatever, droning away. And now some of them are finally starting to wake up. I'm not going to name the other idiots, but I'm just, these guys just are not paying attention, because remember, Game Pass was and never was. Game Pass steals from the devs. Game Pass is unprofitable. I mean, all this stuff we heard, and now what
Game Pass filler for all this crap and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What are they doing? The same thing. So and it's just unfortunate that people cannot think for themselves without having a narrative to, hey, look at me. This is what I'm doing for you. I'm doing this so I can save you. Why? You don't need to save me. I can think for myself. I see what they're doing. I see what Xbox is doing. You know what? The TV. How many more times can I say TV? But, that whole thing, I was actually cool with it. I love being able to watch TV on my Xbox, right? So I was able to do this stuff and then switch over to game without having to have to get the remote control, switch it over. I could see while I'm watching a movie, if I wanted to, see the notifications of who's coming on. So I could watch a movie and be like, hey, Titan, when you're not playing Smite and you pop on, hit me up and we'll play. And, we'll play some Call of Duty. And his name would pop up and all of a sudden, all right, well, whatever. And then he would, another message would pop up saying, hey, we're playing Call of Duty now. And I'd be like, all right, cool. I'd switch over and then I'd go from there and, get my ass handed to me. But, he's just one of those guys that likes to snipe from, I don't know, the spawn point. But that's how he plays.
Well, to be honest with you, yeah. I mean, like,
no, but
I don't think it. I mean, nobody had the problem with the TV, right? But making a whole your launch of your console, the entire announcement, TV, that was one thing. If it was like, okay, here are the games, here are what we can do, we got Kinect integration, all blah, blah, blah. Oh, you can do TV as well. that would have been cool. But yeah, that was the thing that
They
rubbed
were
people the
trying,
wrong way.
right? They had a good intent, because what it was they were trying to get it to more, not to us, because we were going to buy it. So they were trying to get it to the normies, right? We call them
Right.
norms.
Right.
So they were trying to get it more out to the mass market. And what other way than to like grandparents that don't know anything other than, hey, you can get this on and watch your TV show. Oh, really? So they were trying to find a way to unify it across all of marketing. And what better way than it's going to be part of your TV, and unfortunately, they did not think it through, where they needed to concentrate on who are the ones that always dive into the first set of consoles.
The
Oh,
hardcores, of
the
course.
hardcore gamers.
Right.
Those are the ones. Why do we have to force the connect? You didn't have to.
Mhm.
And that was another problem. So they tripped over themselves over and over again. They learned their lesson. But unfortunately, we ended up suffering from that, because now we have Alexa all over the place, but I have no Cortana or Connect.
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know and I loved that. And it was always great for those that were back in the day. For those of us that were playing on the 360, we'd say Xbox off, and you'd
Yeah.
watch everybody just like drop out that had their
Mhm.
Xbox connected, because it heard the speakers, and boom, it did what it was supposed to do.
I yelled, "Xbox, get me off," and it would just laugh at me. Actually, to be honest with you, and this is going to be a hot take, and I really know I'm going to piss off a whole lot of people from what I'm about to say. I've already pissed off a bunch of people. Go fuck yourselves. But anyhow, my problem with the whole thing with PlayStation is they don't know what the fuck they want to be. That's the problem. Xbox is doing their own thing. They're like, okay, we are going to do this whole Game Pass things. They're down with it. They're going that way. Nintendo's like, look, fuck you guys. We're not going to do this whole power narrative. We're going to make our Mario and our Zelda, and we're going to make a console that plays our Mario and Zelda, even though the chip is from 2015 and now runs at a whopping 18 frames per second, right? So they're doing their own thing. They got games that are like 30 million strong and evergreen, like Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, all this other crap. PlayStation is smack dab in the middle, and they've always been in this situation where they don't know what they want to do. So they're just pulling from every direction. They want to be a subscription. They want to do what Xbox does, or they're scared not doing what Xbox does, because again, as I said, with Xbox Live, they were late to the punch with that. But then they have these stellar IPs that they want in that same boat as your Animal Crossings and as your Mario Karts. And that's what they want. And again, it's a company that doesn't know what the fuck they want to do. So they want to sort of be a jack of all trades. But as you know, if you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. And it's been the same way since day one. The Xbox, the live gaming or the internet gaming was Microsoft's idea. The analog stick was Nintendo 64's idea. So it's very rare do you see PlayStation come out with something that they've just done from the ground up themselves. Like, hey, this is something unique to us. And I think that's their biggest problem, because they do not have an identity like that.
All right, so let's seems like we can all agree, except for Wiseau Gamer's he'll defend Sony a little bit here and there, but the rest of us seem to be on the same page as far as the Sony and the blocking and the anti-consumerism. But I want to get on to our next topic, and it's our next topic is about Jason Schreier. So I'm going to try and share my screen. I have no idea how this is going to work. It's the first time I'm trying this, so hopefully you guys can see this.
It worked. It worked.
All right, so a little background about Jason Schreier. You pretty much say hi to the guy and he blocks you. And that goes for anybody, whether you're...
Him and Wilmy are in the same boat, I guess, right?
I was kind of wondering who's got a higher block list, because Wilmy's always bragging about how many people he's got blocked. And I don't know if it even holds a candle to Jason Schreier. Every day you're constantly hearing people say, like, why is this guy blocking me? I didn't even say anything. It's like, basically, if you're not sucking his dick, he blocks you.
I don't mind. It's kind of tasty, though.
So you're not blocked by him?
No.
Oh, well, you're one of the few.
I just know how to take it.
All right, well, let me ask you this. let me ask you this: how many messages have you sent to him or responded to him to any of his like tweets?
I don't send any messages. I do send some videos and pictures of myself, but that's a different story.
Oh, you must like it. All right.
Exactly. So, whatever keeps me in his good graces. Go ahead.
The background story to this is Jason Schreier. He has gone come out and publicly said, you know, I don't know how long ago it was, but he's come out and publicly said that this Activision and the Microsoft deal would not go through. All right, and everyone's got that clip. Everyone's got that, and they're basically cut and pasting that and putting it around and destroying him again, right? Because that's what this guy does. He gets destroyed basically for 80% of the things he says. And he just got destroyed by Hogue Law recently, but he's changed his tune. And this is just one of his tweets. And so at the beginning he said it's completely not going to go through, right? And that was from him. Now, as we read this tweet, he says, put another way, Warren Buffett is betting against a belief held by other investors that the FTC could block the deal. Nobody knows what the outcome will ultimately be. But just what I've read so far, do you see his change of tune? And then he goes, but don't let loud fanboys or YouTube pundits, and he's right there, he's referring to Hogue Law. He says, don't let them mislead you into thinking any of this is inaccurate. So what about his change of tune? What do you guys think? What do you guys...
Well, you're not going to like what I'm going to say.
Go for it.
All right, excellent.
With more information, you are allowed to change your mind and change your opinion. So you can't hold... I mean, we hold it to these fanboys, right? That they do this and they do that. But I've always said you should be able to, you know, when you have certain information and you base your opinion off of that information, you know, TV, we had this information. That's all we had. And we had the base on that information on what we were going to do. If we wanted to decide to go with Xbox or PlayStation, you know, and some people read through the lines and figuring out. But as we find more stuff out, we should be able to change our mind, saying, you know what, Xbox might not be the place for me because now they're saying I can't game share. Now they're saying I can't do this. You know, same scenario here. He's got so much information. He does his research. It's not like he's just making it up, because he's getting inside information. He's getting people to talk to him regardless of what we think. So he's getting stuff and inside information, which, I don't know, sexual allegations should have been brought up 2 years prior, not 2 years later. But, you know, stuff like this should have been brought up ahead of time. But yet again, as information comes in, you can only do the best you can with the knowledge you have at this time. And that's part of the problem. So I'm not giving him a pass for his bad reporting, but I'm also giving him a pass because now there's more information, things change. So he will, you know, we have to do that with everybody. We have to be reasonable with everybody, because we don't always know all the facts. No matter how much we know, 3 sides to the story, there's always a 4th side that we didn't even know of, that blindsides us, that because it was never forthcoming until now. So there could be more information as it happens down the line.
But here's a question for you, though. I mean, here it's all nice and well, but Schreier since day one has been, let's say he has a bias towards PlayStation. Okay, from day one, he's sort of, and he says so much. He had a podcast one time, and he's gone on record to say his bias is towards PlayStation. So when Microsoft made this announcement, and he was quick to tweet about it that this is not going to go through, how much was that the fanboy talking, and how much was that like the reporter talking? I would argue that it was the fanboy talking. And then when he sort of thought about it, that if Activision doesn't get bought by Microsoft, then what happens? And it might be that this is like the best situation that can occur for this. You know, you have all this toxic work environment and stuff like that going on in this company. And to think that Activision is just going to bottom out and just close its doors is just not going to happen. So this might just be the best outcome. He may not like Xbox, but he hates Bobby Kotick more because of what he's done and what his managers and his administrators there have done. So I think this has a little bit of that to do with it. That initially he didn't like the idea that, oh, this major corporation is going into Xbox camp, but then after reflection, he said, you know what, I think it might just be the best of a bad situation. Does it suck that Bobby Kotick got a golden parachute? Yes, it does. But if you're trying to change the workplace environment, this might just be the better of the two scenarios. The what you call the less of two evils, if you will.
Lesser of two evils.
Right. But that's the thing, right? More information, you're allowed to change. With less information, you do the best that you can with the knowledge that you have.
All right, so let me stop right there. All right, so he got more information, and I agree with you like that he can change his mind. But why did he come out, and why would you come out so strong with an opinion that you don't have much, that you don't have all the information for, and you would come out on Twitter and paste it to the whole world? Hey, this is not going to happen, period.
Because
why would you do that?
Because I was a fanboy in them coming out.
Well,
I think.
we also don't know how much of it was fanboy, how much of it was factual, because like I said, the information that he has with everybody, and here's the thing, even Hogue Law doesn't have everything 100%. He's even said, I'm giving it a 30-70. He's even saying,
what was his 30-74? 74?
74 that it was going to go through, 30% that it could not.
Okay.
So even he was saying, look, there's still stuff that could happen that could alter it. And that's what people are forgetting, is even Hogue Law, even himself said he doesn't know. He knows it's the best case scenario. It's going to happen, because that's why he's giving it a 70 split on there. You know what I'm saying? So he's giving it a 70% chance that it's going to happen. But there are other factors that could hamper it, and he's giving that a 30% that it could hamper. So people forget that. It's just because Hogue Law said it's looking like it's going to go that way, there shouldn't be any issues. Shouldn't. He didn't say there won't, right? Everybody's, and Hogue's a good guy, but he says his words carefully. And everybody mistakes a lot of this stuff, just like Jason Schreier. He words his words carefully with what he knows. And that's the problem, is sometimes, who was that other guy that RDX had on?
Pachter?
Pachter, yeah, Michael Pachter.
I was just going to say, he reminds me a lot about Pachter.
Literally,
because
he said Sony will not exist as it does now in 10 years. And it's a fact. It won't. And people took that literally as if Sony will not exist. They you know what I mean? So when people take these things and they don't take the whole encompass of what the phrasing is saying with the words that have been said, and they just take the bits and pieces. How many videos have we watched people getting beat up, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that they did this or they did that. And in the meantime, they were the instigators. They caused it, and they got their ass handed to them justly. But we didn't see that part of the video. You know what I'm saying? So
you also got to watch how they also got to pay, because when you when you have so many followers and when you put these bold statements out there, you got to be careful how you word things and how you put things before you hit that enter button and send it to the whole world.
Remember,
and then like Pachter, his was just being recorded live, so I give him a little more leeway. But I'm not giving Jason Schreier that much leeway, because he typed this out and then hit the send, thought about it, and then hit the send button, right? At least maybe I could at least say, hey, if you're live and on the air, maybe you misspoke a little bit, right? Maybe you're in the moment or something. Maybe it could be a lot of things, right? Maybe whatever.
Well, passion clouds judgment, right? Passion clouds judgment.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You are ultimately responsible with what you say, with what you do. Your actions are ultimately on you. So how you say it, that's why a lot of these guys watch their phrasing, right? What did I say about the gunk? I didn't like this game. This game looks funny. It's just not my type of game. Hopefully people like it. A lot of people love this game. From what they showed on the trailer, it was better than what they showed, but I guess overall it wasn't as great as a game as it could have been. But it was a fun game. People loved it, and I talked bad about it, right? And then I got egg on my face for that. I don't care. because that was my opinion. That was my thought based on the information I had. I still have yet to play it, but a lot of my gaming brethren and sisters in the community have played it and loved it. They're like, this is
But
a
I
great
also
game.
think no,
And,
but I
hold on,
also
and let's
think,
be honest too, because we've been playing games our whole lives, and without playing a game, just by looking at, let's say, gameplay, sometimes it doesn't even take that. Sometimes you can say, I'm not going to like a game by some pictures, right? Like, oh,
That's how we had to
I don't
do it.
like.
That's
yeah,
the way we had to do it when we used to buy them for Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Picture
what
looks
that's
cool.
so if you
Or what?
so
Looking at
if
pictures
that's
on
the way
Nintendo
you were
Power.
back then, what's changed? Like, why can't you make that judgment call before you even played it? Because we've done that our whole lives. Like you said, like I remember going to Blockbuster and renting a game, right? Like, oh man, I only got one game to rent here. I got to make this count. I'd be studying the hell out of the back of those fucking boxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like back in
And
the
like
day.
you're looking for anything. Like I would look for like the way they word things, and I got so good at that. It's like I knew, and I know to this day, like when they hype like the silly things or something that doesn't matter to me, I know the things that do matter to me, I'm not gonna like.
But you
If they're
also talk,
hyping,
I mean,
you also talk to your friends too.
yeah. Like,
So
well,
some of that information was already preconceived from talking. Like, you weren't even going to look at that game, or maybe you gave it a second look because somebody else said, no, this was actually a good game. Because the box art looked like crap and they ended up getting it, or somebody ended up somehow playing it and saying, no, this was good. The magazines we used to read, they used, journalism in gaming was actual journalism back then. Were they not favored? Yes, they were. Everything always has, you cannot go in life without having a bias towards something, regardless. There is no way to phrase something without having a bias against it or for it. So it's there. It's just they were better at presenting the facts because they said gameplay this, video, the video that, and then they broke it down, they played it, and they had the fans of those said games being the reviewers versus somebody that had no interest in hockey or anything, and they were a platformer. Yet we have somebody trying to play Mario fan playing hockey and being like, yeah, this game sucks. But in the meantime, a hockey fan would be like, holy crap, they actually brought this into the game. They made it so much more realistic. That's what we get now. We get, who's the next open editor that can review this game? And unfortunately,
right.
that's the way we are. And then on top of that, we have the biases. So
I mean, I
but
know
let
for a fact that when I used to go to the adult video store, I used to study the back of those videotapes really carefully. Yeah, like if I see a girl and she's in a position of anal, then I might not be as favorable as if I saw a girl getting a blowjob. These are things. If I see a girl with a strap on, then I definitely got to get the videotape. So yeah, I mean, we do it for all media. So that's just saying. Just saying. But I think Schreier. I mean, one thing people don't fail to mention is this too. Schreier. How much of it was like, okay, when Microsoft made that announcement, it really took everybody out of left field. Like, wow, Activision Blizzard, really? We were thinking maybe Ubisoft or WB Games or something like that, right? But Activision Blizzard,
WB was the big one at the time. Yep.
right. We thought that and everyone was either shocked, and of course your staunch Xbox fans, Xbox fans were like really supporting it, and there were a lot of people because of all that shit that went down at Activision Blizzard that were happy that Microsoft is coming in and buying these guys out. Of course, the PlayStation guys were butthurt because they thought they were going to lose Call of Duty at that time. But anyhow, I think Schreier at that time tweeted it out because he wanted to be infamous. He wanted a little bit of like that negative buzz because generally speaking, when the news first came out, it was generally positive that, hey, it's a good idea that Microsoft bought them. $60 billion, that's a shitload of money, but it's a good idea that they bought them because you needed that prick-otic out of there, So Schreier, I think maybe part of it was also, hey, you know what? Everyone's saying something positive. Let me go out here and say something negative and shit and say, maybe just to garner some sort of buzz.
See, the problem with him is he gets very feely about everything, right? So his feelings get hurt very fast. That's why he lashes out, and that's a lot of what his problem is. He's a great journalist that unfortunately lashes out, and he can't handle the truth, right? He can't handle being called out. He can't handle anything at him. So what's he do? He blocks people, and all of a sudden it's these fanatics of whatever. It doesn't matter who it is. It's a fanatic that does not like him, and he blocks them, and then he lashes out, and that's unfortunately on the childish side versus being a professional. And if he's going to be professional, I mean, where's he work? Oh, that's right. He's worked at these publications. Might as well go back to the Inquirer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He likes getting other people's panties in a wad, but when somebody else gets his panties in a wad, he doesn't enjoy it.
Exactly.
And I don't. Yeah. So I don't get it.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander, but not for him.
Right.
When we were mentioning about Schreier, like before you brought up Pachter, I was just about to say, like, he reminds me a lot of Pachter. Schreier reminds me just like Pachter because neither of them, like, they both have a lot of information at their fingertips, right? They're both pretty knowledgeable about everything, but they just don't put two and two together well. They don't take the information that's in front of them and kind of think about the market. And that's what they don't do. They just look at what's in front of them, and then, like, I swear to God, the first thing that comes to their mind, that's what they tweet out. Without even thinking about the whole scenario.
And I would even say Pachter doing what he does is worse because he is a financial analyst. People invest their money based off of his advice. So for him to go out and say, well, Pachter, usually whatever he tweets out or whatever he says, I do not take it for granted. I, in fact, take the opposite because that man has been wrong so many fucking times. It's not even funny, He's like the only man more wrong than I am, so.
But that's the thing. He's an analyst. You can only analyze so much information and then take your opinion from it, from what you, and try to objectively figure out what the future will hold. So you can't hold these guys 100% to anything, and that's the thing. We have to, as gamers, yet again, diversify who our influencers are, and that's the funny thing is there's a lot of them, right? Latch on to the negativity influencers because, oh my God, can you believe this? Can you believe that? And they want to deal with the drama.
That, Dredd, I gotta respectfully disagree. I think the reason we put a lot of weight in what Pachter says and what Schreier says and people in their statuses say is because we know for a fact that they are privy to information that we just do not know. So if they go out of their way to say something, we are more liable to believe it because we know that they have the inside scoop. Because
so why would they be saying something wrong 9 times out of 10?
See, and I don't know.
It's part of that is the drama.
Yeah,
it's get that drama, get people to interact because of the drama. That's what draws stuff in. Now, why do you think now the news, they don't really advertise anything when they're talking about stuff? Everything's always bad. There's people now. I know somebody that literally will not watch the news because it's causing him health issues. How many people have? We know people, right, that have died a couple of years ago because of the whole contagion thing and staying home and being afraid and literally scared themselves from living because they sat there watching the news, all the negativity, and they literally mentally locked themselves in their own house and their own body and ended up dying because of this. It's the drama that brings all this stuff. That's the problem. That's why it's like I've always promoted we need to prevent all this. Why? Because of the negativity. Well, how do we do that? Well, we promote what we like. We promote where we're having fun. We have good discussions. We push the good for our community. Because what's going to happen with our kids? Our kids are going to grow up dealing with the same crap we grew up with, right? Why not make the community better? Why not make this gaming space better for my kid, right? My kid's female. You think I want her to deal with all the negativity of all this? No, I don't. And this is why you push something good, right? These guys are pushing the facts that they know, and You know, we know that they know stuff, but we don't know how much they know,
Right.
right? So, I mean, I know stuff that I'm not allowed to say. Even still, I can't talk about it because I can't say anything about it. But I'm not leading on that I know something that, oh, you should invest in this. No, I'm not saying any of that. So I'm not saying anything, period. And that's where they should be too. Excuse me.
But you know,
Yeah,
shit sells.
unless they
Yeah.
have like a really good high percentage chance of something, that
Right.
something's going to happen, right?
Well, I know I've seen the product.
Yeah.
I've seen it and I've touched it, and I can't talk about it. Right.
Right.
And I never signed an NDA. Mine was a verbal. Right. So can I backtrack and say, well, it was just verbal. There's no handshake. There's no signature. You can't hold me to it. Yeah, I could say that. Could I get away with it? Yeah, probably. Will I? No, because
So,
I hold my word honorably. You know,
so
so
what
if
what you're saying is these guys are almost pseudo trolling? Is that what
they
you're
could
saying?
be, we don't know. They could be. That's the problem. Just because you know something, you're involved in all this, you can't say something, right? So if you're not allowed to say something, but you know something, you know, and then you lead to a direction, but then you'd be like, well, that has nothing to do with what I actually know, because I was using the information I didn't know to make this assessment versus the information that I did know. We have to play these games. When you get into certain lines where you know certain things, you have to play the game that you don't know, right? When you know somebody's going to get fired, you don't say nothing when you see them the next day. You're not saying like, hey, when are they going to let you go? No, you sit there and you work with this person as if you don't know nothing, because it was bestowed upon you in secret and in privacy, with the fact that you're not going to say nothing to nobody, but they trusted you to know and not say it. And what are you going to do? You're going to go back out there and not say nothing. You're going to work with this person, and then like the next day they're going to be like, hey man, I just got canned. And you're gonna be like, what? Oh no. Do you know what I mean? But you already knew.
Yeah.
So this, yet again, I'm using real life experiences as to what this all could be, because this is real life. This is not fictitious. People tweeting is, yes, they could be fictitiously tweeting, but they have a real life. It's a real person behind these things. Trolls, there are real people behind them. And that's the problem, is some people invest too much in what they say versus what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's how life is. How
Mhm.
many times are these trolls on YouTube and Twitter and wherever else that they lie? We invest too much stock into that, and we've seen it over and over again, and we still give them all this credit for nothing, for being
And Brandon,
liars.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
Because when you stood up for, well, I don't know if you stood up for him or whatever, but you kind of defended him
I
because
defended
you
them,
got
yes.
more information. But my thing is, as far as Jason Schreier goes, like, don't you just want to stick it to the douchebags though when they deserve it?
No, I don't. There's not enough for aggro to give me.
You don't care about that.
No, I like to point it out. I'd rather point it out so this way people are more knowledgeable, right? Of what the past history is. I'm not going to sit there and try to bury them every second that they have, and be like, this guy did this guy did this, because now what? I've become the gossip queen, because I'm going to sit there and bury this person when this person should have a chance to, yes, be wrong, take the heat or whatever other dish comes their way for that issue that they did, but at the same time, they have to start over and rebuild that trust, right?
Wiseau
They're
Gamer, can you
trying.
help this guy that says his left nut is itchy? Can you give him some advice?
Amputation. That's what I would recommend. That's what they did for me, but there was not much to cut off when they did for me. It was literally they took me to the back of the clinic, brought out one of those little kid scissors that you get in kindergarten, and snipped it off. Said, "You're good, go home." So
what isn't what's that one? Gold Bond. Fluff some Gold Bond, but if you got like
just snip
crabs
the
with
tip.
spears and and stuff like that on there. You might need to go see a doctor to cook them away.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I told him that. I said,
Drago knows that, right? All the you were on a ship. You know that.
Please don't make me go back to those days.
Well, that's what I told him in the chat. I said, it sounds like crabs to me, and I have a shellfish allergy, and that's why I've not had sex with my wife for 18 years. So.
All right, without further ado, let's go on to our next topic. We're at the halfway point of the show here.
I do have a question for you before we move on from this topic. Okay, so you are like calling this guy out because he sort of switched sides, if you will, or changed his opinion. What would you have preferred him not do? Just basically be steadfast, even though there was overwhelming evidence to the contrary? Because either way, the guy ain't winning.
I've got a problem with his initial tweet. All right. He's in the know. He's got a lot of information, whether it's his fanboy site or not. Like, don't you got to kind of control that with all these followers? Even though you blocked half a civilization, right? That's besides the point. He's created this echo chamber, and he's when you boldly say so, this deal will not get through, and then you backtrack. It just like, how many times have we seen this? How many times are you going to do this kind of thing? That's what I got. Because this isn't the first time. This is just yet another time that he's backtracked on bold predictions that he's made. And I just don't like the guy as well.
But at least he's doing a mea culpa. Like, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong. As opposed to him saying no. I mean, how
did he say he was wrong?
Well, he's not going to go out and say he's wrong, but he's like swinging through. But
he actually took himself out of context. Like, before it was, this will not happen, kind of count on thing. And now he's like talking about others. So he's completely throwing it off of himself. That I got a problem with.
Unfortunately,
because it was his original prediction that this was going to happen. Now if this deal does go through, he's off the hook, because now he's throwing it on other people, saying that, oh, they said this, they said that, when he's the one that started the whole thing.
Unfortunately, Titan's right.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. He's swinging for the fences, no matter what side he's on. Exactly. He's literally not really putting himself in there, other than the fact that he wrote it, and then at the same time he's putting he's diverting the information and the blame to somebody else as he's doing it. So yet again, unfortunately, you can only do so much with what it is. You have to call out the misinformation, but at the same time, he did stand up and not take the L.
Exactly.
Denied the L. Denied the existence of the L, basically.
Yeah. He took the I. He left the dash.
He dropped the class.
Yeah.
Took an exit somewhere along the road. He was heading towards Lville, and he took an exit right before it.
He's like, look, squirrel.
Oh, geez.
All right, let's move on to our next topic for the night. This one comes from comicbook.com, and I've seen a couple other sites report on this as well. But Red Dead Redemption 3 rumor leaks release window.
God.
And this is strange because we don't have any of this information for the game that we all know, that we've all been waiting for this whole time. How long have we been waiting for GTA 6, right? So why are we getting information about Red Dead Redemption 3 before we have yet to see anything about GTA 6?
Well, that's easy. That's easy, because GTA, they want to milk that cow until there ain't nothing coming out of that cow. So they have no vested interest of that.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're saying they're going to continue with GTA 5?
Yeah, there's going to be a GTA
put off
6.
GTA 6 even longer.
Mm-hmm. As much as they can.
And release. So you're saying they're going to release
Red
Dead Redemption 3 before GTA 6. Is that what you're saying?
because they wanted they wanted Red Dead Redemption 2 to be its own platform like GTA became, and when it did not, they're trying to do it again, trying to get package lightning in a bottle again. So they're going to try to keep hitting that until it clicks like GTA. GTA is already one of their cash cows. They're looking for another. That's why they're more incentivized to do another Red Dead Redemption versus another GTA, in my opinion.
Super bold statement. I like it. So, what do you got to say about that, Dreadpool? And I'm going to also ask the chat.
I'm gonna decipher what Wise Old Gamer said. They're gonna keep hitting it so hard until eventually they go in the back door.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. So no, what
they ain't stop until they touch the tonsils.
So no, seriously though, what I'm thinking is they are slow into bringing in money, right? So if they increase production on how fast these games come out, then they could make more money, right? And obviously Red Dead Redemption is turning into like a one hit wonder. It's just not getting. I'm already voting 3. It's not getting what it needs to. You know what I mean? So if the online for Red Dead just wasn't there, it's not the same as it is for GTA. Now, if we push it out there, maybe we can regenerate that and get that hype back and go with this, right? Now, here's the other thing, and here's where it's kind of weird. I think 5 that they just re-released is actually 6. So all they're going to do is switch that number to a 6 and utilize the same thing. Yeah.
No,
now they're going to add more assets.
That's an even bolder statement.
So basically, they're going to do what PlayStation did when they changed PlayStation 4 logo to PlayStation 5. Did you see that meme?
That's exactly it.
Oh my God! No.
That's what they're going to do. And what they're going to do is they're going to resell it to you because now they've already put all this investment. Why would you redo the whole game and push it back out again, right? With all these high level assets, if everything's still fine, everything still works, all you have to do is just tweak out some more stuff, and these idiots will buy it again. Oh wait, we're gonna do it again on this next generation. Oh, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. Why not do it again?
You're not getting another GTA. You're not going to be getting another Mario Kart either.
Think about it. There's less work that they have to do. They can make it out even faster. And seriously, what are sequels? Sequels are typically a spin-off of the first game or the game previous to it, right? Just like DLC is. Is it not?
DLC it's just a longer DLC.
It's literally just a longer DLC game. Right. And if the graphics look this good, all they have to do is maybe tweak a few more things. They already have it on this other engine. Just switch it over a little bit and then change that 5 into a 6. Curve the top, close up the bottom.
Oh my God.
And another thing that you have to understand is, okay, who is playing GTA? I mean, most of the hardcore older gamers, we've sort of moved on. We've had our piece with the GTA, and we're on to other greener pastures. The kids, the people who are playing it are like my kids. They're constantly playing it. So if they come out and it's just an add-on, they have like Liberty City as a DLC map or something, they're okay with that because this is what they've known. This is what Fortnite does. This is what Warzone does. This is what what's that game from Titanfall's thing, having a brain, Apex Legend does. So they're used to this. We old fogies, we want like a hard stop, not them. They're okay with all of this. So yeah, the only one really bitching about getting a GTA 6 are people like us, and pretty much what Rockstar is going to tell people like us to do, So
has anybody gone back since they first started the GTA 5? It's totally different.
It was like a long time ago.
Exactly.
It was when that the casino update came out. I went back to it for a little bit.
And that's the thing is, we had 4, and then they had the expansions, and then we got 5, right? And 5 is just expanded within itself.
Right.
They just not too long ago, was it last year or the year before, they released the Eminem and Dre stuff. So they did all that. They you know what I'm saying? So they're doing like Fortnite, where they're rebuilding everything within itself without having to change anything. So if they make 5 into 6, it'll be an easy sell because now it's 6. They've already got the graphics. They just add more stuff to it, rearrange some things, and here's your story. You're done. Because
And
online
see,
will be online no matter what we do.
and that's why they want another platform just like this. That's why they need to put out Red Dead Redemption 3 or whatever else they have in their stable, because they need another pillar, if you will. You know, it's the same process that Blizzard did back in the day. They had the Warcraft platform, then they released the Diablo platform. Since once that went good, then they released the StarCraft platform. That's what they want, and then they just kept iterating and iterating and iterating on those 3 platforms. They just Overwatch was just their most recent one that was a new platform, but you never saw anything from Blizzard besides some Warcraft, some StarCraft, or some Diablo for the longest time. So
this is pretty incredible. I was not expecting this when I brought up this this topic. So I guess let's take it 2 things. Let's take it one thing at a time, because I wasn't expecting for you to say that Red Dead Redemption 3 would come out before Red Dead Redemption 2. Or sorry, before GTA 6. So let's say if Red Dead Redemption 3 does come out first, hypothetically, right? Will it, my question to you is, will it essentially be a Red Dead Redemption 2 expansion?
Well,
or is it going to be a completely new story with new characters, etc.? Because that's what it's going to take for me to realize this Red Dead Redemption 3 to be a true sequel. Otherwise, it's essentially an expansion, kind of like the God of War, kind of like the new God of War. Like a lot of people disagree with me on this one, but that game, I'm sorry, that's an expansion of the last one.
I would even go farther to say that. I would say that it'll be even less of a sequel to Red Dead Redemption 2 and more of a reskin of Grand Theft Auto. That's what I think they're going to be doing. They're going to take all of the elements. They're going to go back, take inventory of what's working in Grand Theft Auto, reskin it, put the Red Dead Redemption spin on it, and put it out there. That's what I think they're going to do.
So, is Red Dead Revolver a prequel or sequel to Red Dead Redemption?
I believe it was a prequel, right? I believe so.
It was before. But it's they're both loosely spiritually based to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So 2 is kind of a what do we say is a prequel to the first one. Well, technically the second one, so it'd be Red Dead Revolver. Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption Revolver, Red Dead Redemption.
It's RDR, you know what I mean? So it's like,
it's okay, Red. We know you're getting old.
Yeah. Well, I'm right there with you, if not older than you. No, I think you beat me up by like a year. So, but yet again, it's within the same field, same storyline, but yet it's its own thing. So I think 3 would be the same way. They will pick another person, whether it's somebody else in another part of the gang or something that was involving right around the same storylines between the 2 or 3, if you look at it like that. So it'll spiritually be yet again another Red Dead, with maybe certain characters or maybe a character that was involved with somebody before. I think that's kind of how they like to do that. Give you like another part of the story, give you like another part of viewpoint, and maybe bring you into another area of it to extend more of the lore. And that's what I'm about, right? I'm about extending lore. That's why ODST, I had no issues with it. Extended the lore because, unfortunately, we weren't able to play as Master Chief, but we got more lore,
So if Red Dead Redemption 3 expanded the lore, how would you like to see them go about doing that?
I don't know about the lore, but
real quick, while you think about that, I want to give you a couple shout outs in the chat. Tony Grasso, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Also, Axel1324 Gaming, welcome, buddy. He had his new show this morning. Sorry I couldn't catch that. Literally, man, my life is just crazy right now. Putting an offer on a house. I told you,
if it's a butt crack of morning, hell, forget it.
Yeah. Anyways, Dreadpool, how would you like to see them kind of go about doing that?
Well, maybe give somebody else another backstory. You know, maybe give our villain this time around the backstory to show why he became the villain. How did he?
A lot of people like that the chick from Red Dead 2.
Isn't the main character story arc done in this one anyways?
Yes,
that's what I heard. Yeah. So what are they going to do with him anyway?
Yeah, he gone.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is each one is this one led to the second one led to the first one, which made no sense. But yeah, so it's technically not a 2, it's a 0.5.
Yeah.
But either way, like I said, if they brought I forgot the other guy, the leader of the gang.
Yeah, I'm
but
bad
if
with
they
names.
they could bring his storyline. They could bring one of the other people's storyline that was one of the other main characters. I didn't finish playing it, so I whatever.
Well, do you remember the cool chick in the gang? I don't remember her fate. I forgot about her fate, but I know a lot of people liked her, and I want to say she survived. So that could be a potential spin-off or a continuation or an extended.
I'll tell you what I want.
And with today's society, I'm fine with that because more and more people are starting to use females as a lead, protagonist, antagonist, whatever. And I'm fine with that. Cool. Let's delve into her story.
A hot chick
that would be cool.
About it. Hot chick with guns, with a rifle in her hand. Oh my God!
And she could go either way, right?
Yeah.
Like I could see her going anyway.
I can see her cocking that rifle. Oh my God! I need to buy more controllers. Just thinking about it already. No, but you know what I would really like? Remember, I think wasn't it? Did they call this DLC Undead Nightmare, where they took the Red Dead Redemption and they put like zombies and stuff in it? Do y'all remember that DLC?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
I wish they did something like that because it was really good and it was an interesting take on the whole zombie franchise. So I wish they go back and like revisit that again. So yeah, it's just my take on it.
All right, so the second part of this was because I really wasn't expecting what Dreadpool was going to say, saying GTA 6 would be repackaged as GTA 5. They would take the number 5 and kind of just put a line on it.
Do a Sony.
Call it GTA 6.
Well, I mean, think about it. Their publisher is going the Sony way when they come with how they push their games out.
That's true,
right?
Well,
so
I won't say that's wrong.
But Drago, put yourself in their shoes. If you do not have to reinvent the wheel, why the hell would you?
Because probably a lot of people would look at that as a cheap way out. Well, first of all, how many people are getting pissed that we're not hearing about GTA 6?
You're getting
How
pissed,
do you put this out there to the world and not expect some type of blowback because everyone's been wanting GTA 6 for how long now? It's like
no, you want GTA 6. My kid is playing GTA right now and doesn't give a damn either way.
He doesn't.
So you're telling me he doesn't want GTA 6 though?
He doesn't care about GTA 5, 6, 4, 3.
He doesn't care about the number.
Exactly.
The number doesn't make a difference. As long as it's
he doesn't
GTA,
care about upgrades, like new, like updated.
Yeah, we just
whatever engine they'd be using for this game.
We just got a new upgrade.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They just sold us a new upgrade.
That's what I'm saying. You are a minority in this regard. They don't care about.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to know who the target audience is because who the hell keeps buying this game? That is an investigation that needs to happen right now.
That little bastard in my room who spent $200 on that fucking game on just DLC content. That's the kid that they want. They don't want you.
Titan, here's what's going to happen. They will change when you stop yelling. When you stop throwing the common sense out there, that's when they will change and say, you know what, Titan's right. We will make a 6 and get 6 out there completely fresh and new. We will do all the work versus how can we cheat the system, right? Isn't that what everybody's about? Is how do we cheat the system? How do we get more for doing less? And this is what they're doing. They're going to change the 5 into a 6. Boom, done.
And let's be honest, they're not going to take anybody who plays Smite seriously. So
that wasn't from me.
You guys are killing me. Oh my God. Hey, Wise, do you want to get changed up real quick? Do you want to bring this? because I don't even know what are we calling this character, man? Are we calling him a wise old senior gamer or whatever? Santa Claus? What are we going to call this guy?
I'll be back. Yeah, the wise ass Asian. I'll be back.
All right. So while he gets the wise ass Asian ready, I guess. Are there any closing? First of all, Dread, let me ask you if we have any closing statements on this, because we got one more topic remaining tonight. Maybe we'll share a couple minutes of the showcase or whatever, but I don't want to spend too long on that. The next topic
statement would be: I do not.
All right, closing statement is what?
I do not endorse or condone anything that the wise old gamer is going to come out as.
I was hoping you say you don't endorse or condone something that GTA 6 does, but you've completely
Hey, squirrel!
You just threw me off my game this whole topic, man. This did not go the way I was expecting. Thank you for continuing that pattern.
You're welcome.
So our last topic of the day. Hogwarts Legacy, developer set for acquisition with major parties interested. So those major parties, obviously Xbox and PlayStation, Hogwarts Legacy. And it's made by WB. So WB was for sale, and then it wasn't for sale, and then it was kind of for sale, and now it's like they're listening to offers all of a sudden again. And they're doing this right when this very hyped Hogwarts game is releasing. Planned, I think so. Because, right, why would you kind of sell yourself when you're in a little bit of a lull? Now's the time to sell, right? The market is up there right now, especially when you're releasing a game with a lot of hype behind it, a lot of interest. It's got a huge name behind it. Everyone knows it. It's going to sell like gangbusters, guaranteed. So, where do we start with this, Dread? Are we going to talk about who's going to be the potential buyer? Who, I guess, because there's a lot of ways we could go with this, Dread. We could see.
Let's talk about me then.
We could go percentages. Let's talk about you. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about me.
That's another way. Yeah, we could change this up.
Here's how it's going to happen. Okay. I've always said it from the get-go. I've never swayed my what I've said, right? I've always said Xbox never left the table. They slid their chair back because they didn't like the offer. And with them, they were always sitting there at the table. They just slid a little bit back. They're like, okay, I'm still interested, but now I'm sitting back with my arms crossed with you guys doing what you're doing. And with this game coming out, it kind of makes you wonder, now that Hogwarts is coming out, we want to put this on sale. We want to put this out on sale, right? So everybody's freaking out because you got Microsoft, you got Sony, you got Nintendo. Well, I don't think Nintendo's really going for it, but people are saying Nintendo. You got the other one, which is...
That would be surprising.
Right? Exactly. But that's why I was like, why are people bringing Nintendo in? But that's what they brought in. That's what I'm saying. Okay. But you got the real competitor now, Amazon, right? Whether or not Tencent is allowed to by the Chinese government, that's another story, but they are also a competitor, right? And then you got let's see that other one. They're the ones that have the majority of all those little studios. I forgot their called. But anyway.
Well, I guess
so when you look at it like that, right? Why is this game now it's finally starting to come out, but yet they pushed back DC Comics. Those games got pushed back. What was wrong with those from having their release date and this? So you kind of wonder what the significance is. Why are they doing it like this? But overall, I still think Xbox will at least take a couple studios. I'm always going to say, because Ed Boon said he would love to work on Killer Instinct, right? So he said he would love it. Phil responded, that would be awesome. You know what I mean? I'm paraphrasing here. But you look at that interaction, and so because somebody had mentioned a crossover between MK and that and Killer, so that would be awesome, right? Who wouldn't want something like that? And So
yeah, you're going deep. You're not even looking at the top layer here. You're going like
I'm going further in. There's a lot of little things here, right?
Mhm.
Xbox is also what? Trying to get more children. So wouldn't TT Games be one of the ones that they should be looking at? Lego. And what does Lego not have? Online. What is Xbox known for? Except for Battletoads? Online.
Online, yeah.
So there could be something there. Yeah. So we all talked about how what was that squirrel? Whatever, that red fox.
Ratatasker.
Or was that? No,
That's
whatever.
the Smite God. That's the squirrel.
So, but Lucky Star or whatever, something like that. I'm not singing a Madonna song. I'm
Oh,
talking
right.
about the
I know
game.
what you're talking
Yeah.
about now. Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah, there you go. Super Lucky's Tale. But it was Lucky's Tale, and then it became Super Lucky's Tale. Regardless, they brought it on, and people were like, "Why are they doing this?" Well, there's a whole another generation coming up that are hardcore that they're trying to get in to become the hardcore. And how do you do that? By bringing in those type of games. So if you get Mortal Kombat for us hardcore and bring back the fighting games, because where's fighting games been on Xbox? Nowhere. It's laying dormant. Everybody's going to PlayStation. So how do you compete? You get that, right? You get NetherRealms. They have a couple other studios that have. Yet again, this is all contingent on what's going on with the licensing for these games. What's going on with what are they getting? Are they getting the engines that these guys or the technology that these studios have developed for these games? Are they getting just the employees? Are they, so there's a lot of things that we still are in the unknown. And that's why I'm like, I'm excited, but we still have to sit back.
From what I've seen, it looks like they're kind of separating the two. First of all, it looks like they are shopping off their individual studios. Like they're not, it doesn't look like they're selling as a whole. Now I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But from what I've seen, they're selling off their individual studios. So some might go to Xbox, some might go to PlayStation, wherever they may end up, right?
But what comes with the studio?
Exactly. That's, from what I've seen, they are keeping all of the licenses separate again. So that tells me like that should bring down the price point of all these studios. First of all, they don't have to purchase them all outright. Second of all, the licenses don't look like they're going to be included. So this is all being separated. So what do you think about that?
So even with that means that those prices are going to be even cheaper. They're going to be, and unfortunately, the bidding war is what will jack their prices up. So if Xbox never left because they wanted a NetherRealm studio, that's great because
kind of like the broken housing market right now.
Yeah. And unfortunately, if Sony wants NetherRealm, they're going to have to go at it, and then Amazon's going to come in and swoop up and say, you know what, we've got the team that worked. What was it? Double Helix, right? The team that worked on Killer Instinct, the new one for the Xbox.
Okay.
So they bought them a while back. So now they're going to get NetherRealm. So they're going to have two studios that know fighting games. You know what I mean? And no competition other than the Street Fighter guys from Capcom. So where's the other competition? There's going to be very little competition. They're going to rule the roost. So yet again, there's going to be this, there's so much going on. And this is why Jason Schreier and even Hogue Law will have to put out percentages because, Double Helix was bought by Amazon. So there's these percentages that you have to figure out where it's going to go because there's still so much information that we don't know. But I like I said, I know that they never stepped away. I've always said that from the beginning, and this was going to happen. It's just when. And now that they have a name brand that they think that they're going to be able to get their money, but they're not going to give away the license. So that doesn't make sense. So
and everything I've read, that's the way it's looking. It looks like they're keeping the licenses separate. It looks like they're man, I could go. I'd like to find this spot, but I'll find it eventually. I got a couple other questions for you. Wise, whenever you're ready, man, we're ready for you. Whenever you're ready, but
yeah, I mean, do they get what part of the studio do they get? Just the people? Do they get the technology that they've developed in those studios?
That would definitely come with it. But But this opens up more questions, is my thing.
It does that, and that's what I'm literally showing you. There's more questions.
Well, especially if Xbox acquires all of them, most of them, some of them. We got our buddy here. Let me bring you to the center of the screen here. Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Why don't you unmute yourself first?
My name, you have to forgive me, man. I do not know how your technology works here. Yeah, my name is Vikram Bhatia Patel, but you can call me Bob.
All right, we won't ask you to spell that.
Bob, B-O-B, yeah. Oh, Bob. I don't know why people make big deal about my head bobbing. Everyone in my country, their head bobs. That's why my wife's head bobs. That's why we have 10 kids. Every woman's head bobs in my country. That's why we have 1.4 billion people in our country. Your head needs to bob some more too.
Where are you from? Where's your country?
I think I come from the lower part of India because we.
You
like
think
the
you get hit
lower
in the head recently, man?
hit in the head? No. What head are you talking about? The only head that I like getting hit on is the one underneath my kurti. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All
Swami
right, right
Bob,
on.
how do you stay cool in this hot weather with that robe on?
There is nothing underneath. Yeah. There, I am totally free underneath. I let the breeze take me. It blows underneath. And it goes okay. Then I
Oh.
have a dog. I put the dog underneath, and he licks off all of the sweat in the
All right,
right
let me
place.
stop you right there. Before we get into your dog, let me ask you some questions because we got this topic here that's about PlayStation versus Xbox. You know these companies, right?
I've heard of Xbox before, long time ago. Microsoft. I've heard of Microsoft. My cousin used to work for somebody for Microsoft. He used to call people to get social security numbers. Then he went to jail. I do not understand what happened, but yeah, I heard of Microsoft. PlayStation don't they make vibrators? It's called PlayStation. You play at the station. Don't Isn't that something to do with that? You run a train, so they make vibrators, right?
I think they're actually working on that.
Oh,
But anyways, I got so many questions running through my head to ask you. But as far as this place, so we're gonna have to call you a guru of some sort. I guess you're gonna be our local guru. And if
yes.
so, we got PlayStation and we got Xbox as potential buying partners for this WB, and that's Warner Brothers. So, who do you think ends up acquiring Warner Brothers, and do you think they'll acquire all of them or maybe partial of them? Let me know what you
I
what thoughts are going through your mind in this acquisition process.
I think it is a good idea for PlayStation to buy Warner Brothers because there is a lot of ground. If they need to buy Warner Brothers because I think Warner Brothers owns the Batman license. They can make good vibrators from Batman. They can make good Mortal Kombat vibrators too. There is a man in Mortal Kombat says, "Get over here." So what if I come over here? What am I going to do if I don't have that? So I think PlayStation should be buying them. Xbox, on the other hand, they got enough people. They got enough. They cannot even manage the ones they have already. Let's have PlayStation try.
All right, so you're saying let PlayStation get them. So should they get all of WB or just part of them?
I think they should take everything. If you're gonna take, you take everything. Like in my nephew, he runs a gas station, right? And when people come in, we not only sell him the Coke and the candy bar, but we also sell them everything. We sell them the expansion, the penis expansion pills, the Viagra boosters, and all of that stuff. So if one person we buy everything. It makes the purchase a little easier.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So if this Activision does go through, and let's just say hypothetically Xbox does acquire them. Let's say your prediction is wrong. I know that's highly unlikely.
Yes, I know very much everything. You do not. I cannot say. I know a lot more than what I say. I say sometimes on Twitter things that people don't like, but that's because it's hot underneath, and when it's nice and sweaty, the dog licks more. That's why.
So what you're saying is you're basically a relative of Jason Schreier. So if Xbox makes this requirement, do people scream Monopoly even louder?
Who cares about a monopoly? People keep complaining about my culture having a monopoly on hotels and gas stations. I see nothing wrong with a monopoly. If one person has it, it makes life a lot easier for everybody involved. Everyone looks at me and says, "What hotel do you own?" And I look at them, I say, "I don't own no hotel." But my cousins, they own 50 or 60. Then they say, "Do you own a gas station?" And I say, "No, I don't own a gas station, but my cousins also own 20 or 30 of those." So it makes life a lot easier, at least for me, because
I bet.
because when I go to the hotel and do the things that I need to do with my wife Satya, I can tell her to go to the gas station, take a car, and get the fuck out of my life.
Did you say Satya?
Satya.
I gotta say, I am so glad that reflection shows that you're actually wearing pants and you're shoeless.
We go in our culture, we cannot afford no sandals or shoes. You guys have to wear shoes and sandals. We go barefoot everywhere. It is good because when we get home at night, it's nice and dirty. Our wife has something to lick off.
Not to mention going commando. All right, so I want you to have the same question, Dreadpool, and Wise or Guru, whatever the hell your name is. I want you to respond to what he says. So Dreadpool, if Activision deal goes through and Xbox gets it, and let's say that they even got Activision, right? Xbox got Activision, and then Xbox gets WB. Are people screaming Monopoly even louder? How does that go down? Like, does that go to court as well?
Oh Lord, can I get an amen? This is a monopoly.
Amen.
Right? That's what's going to happen, right? They're going to freak out, and yet again they're going to go, it's a monopoly again, when it's already been proven it's not a monopoly. They're still number 3. It doesn't matter. There won't be enough there to put them in number 1 where they're going to. And on top of that, you can play it on PC. You can play it on any of the consoles. You can play it on your phones. And this stuff here probably will not be only on Xbox. It'll probably be cross-platform. It just all depends on what it is. You missed my question from earlier, Titan.
Oh, here we go. So yeah, Dreadpool's got a question for you, Swami Bob. What is the meaning of gaming life?
The meaning of gaming life is very simple. You sit and you play till you cannot play no more. Because the reason we all want to game is so that we have much time to do whatever, to relax ourselves, so that when we go into the bedroom with our wife, we are nice and relaxed. We can after we play with the joystick, we can now take our hands, which are now more exercised, and pleasure our wife. That is the main meaning of gaming. To pleasure our wife and to pleasure ourselves. Everything is to pleasure.
I love how you call him Swami Bob, and I'm going to call him Swami Guru Bob. But Kyle Milo says in the chat, he actually uses your real name, Wise Old Asian. What animal do you want to come back as after you die?
Oh, that is easy. I want to come back as a giraffe. People keep talking about a horse's penis, but have you seen a giraffe's penis? It is bigger than its neck. So I want to be a giraffe, because right now, if you look underneath my kurti, it is not so big. At least as a giraffe, at least my wife Satya will not complain and go to my cousin.
Go to your cousin. Any other questions for Wise Old Swami Guru Bob, or whatever you want to call him? Let us know in the chat before he gets out of here. So Dread, so do you think this will go to court? So I take it you don't think this will go to court if because we got to reevaluate. If Microsoft acquires Activision, we have to reevaluate the entire the entire scope of the entire gaming.
Yeah, they're only buying a couple
world.
studios. Yeah, they're only buying a couple studios. They're not buying the whole WB and the IP, and so it's even less of a big deal. So it's going to be a big buy, but it's going to be a smaller in the grand scheme of things in scope compared to Activision. It's going to be probably more along the lines of less than Bethesda. The money might not be, but overall, I think it'll be about the Bethesda lines.
So did you hear about the $5 billion kind of like cap that they're throwing on? I think it was the FTC is kind of setting up. Basically anything 5 billion or over, they're going to look into. Have you heard of that?
No, but I don't see why they wouldn't do that, because I mean they're pushing to cut down on tech. All these tech companies buying up and acquiring other companies, they're trying to minimize that. And
I have a question. You said they will examine everything that's 5 billion or over. Is that $5 billion or 5 billion rupees? My wife Satya bought a 5 billion rupee dildo. Do you mean the FTC is going to look into that as well?
Probably.
It depends
I don't know the exchange rate, but I would look out for that.
Oh, rupee. I thought you said ruby. I was going to say, man, if that thing's studded like that, it all depends on how many studs it has.
The only stud in our house is me. At least now I had the STD, and then I told my wife I just need you.
Does your left nut itch as well?
What left nut? I do not have left or right nut. They're still not descended yet. I did not know. I've been looking for them, and I don't know where I put them. Somebody must have stole them.
They're the ones that are stuck to the side of your leg.
I think that
mental images I don't need.
I think maybe I am in a problem, because the other day the dog came out from underneath me and was chewing on something. I did not know what he was chewing on. It must have been that.
He must have been chewing on.
It felt good when he did something that it felt good. I do not know what he did, but when he came back, he kept chewing, and I do not know. So I think I'm in trouble now.
Well, wait a second. You were sitting down, so maybe it was the goat.
No, it is not the goat. It is the dog. I have to feed the dog, because my kids have to eventually eat as well.
He knows he's a guru, Dreadpool. He knows the difference between a dog and a goat. Give him a look.
Yeah, the dog's asshole is a little tighter. The goat is a little bit wider.
Oh my God!
Don't ask how I know.
Too much information. All right, I guess we'll have to see you back next week, unless you want to hang around with us till the end of the show. But we got about 10 minutes remaining here.
No, my nipples are very sweaty. I gotta go see the dog again. Sorry, Satyana. Bye.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Guru, Swami Bob, or Wise Old Asian, or whatever we're gonna call you.
I like Swami Bob.
Bob is okay for me.
Bob. All right. Thanks for joining us, Swami Bob, Guru.
Namaste.
All right. So, yeah, this $5 billion limit is an actual thing, Dreadpool. So I could easily see, because what do you think the total net worth of WB is going to be? Like we talked about earlier, like the price has got to come down, since they're selling piece by piece. Plus, it doesn't look like they are including the licenses. So what are you thinking?
You see, and that's yet again, until we have more information, it's going to be hard to pinpoint monetary.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Maybe let's make this question easier. So the $5 billion limit, is any of their studios worth more than $5 billion? In your opinion?
My left nut's worth more than $5 billion. So it depends on what they think they're worth. Okay. You know what I mean? So when
right.
My wife just heard that. She's like, wait. So
was that an agree or a disagree?
I think it was more of a, what did you just say? Probably a disagree afterwards. Yeah, she's laughing for the disagree, so she's agreeing with it. It's a disagree. So anyway, now but that's the thing. It's we don't know what they're going to estimate their value, and on top of that, with the bidding war, because it will become a bidding war for certain studios. Certain studios will, like TT Games, might not actually have a bidding war. There may only be a couple people saying, "Look, we'll only do this," and it's not going to be over the 5. NetherRealm could be over the 5. Monolithic, um, depending on what they push out, it could be or could not be. It just depends. Everybody has their favorite. So if you're not a fighting game fan, you're probably not going to give Mortal Kombat uh, 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 any props to say that NetherRealm Studios is really worth this. But yet again, you're saying that they're keeping the IPs, right? And Boogeyman's asking if it's coming with Mortal Kombat. Well, if they're keeping the IP, then it would be just a studio, right? So we're just getting the talent. But
check this out.
Okay.
Not only I have a list of the confirmed interested parties, and the parties include not only Sony and Xbox, but EA, Take-Two, Tencent, NetEase, and PUBG Corp.
Yeah, yep.
So there's a lot of interest in these. So that tells me that they are going to shop individual studios around. Maybe Xbox can just give them the highest price for whatever one they want.
They could, but you're muted again. They could, but yet again, it depends on what's the bidding. I mean, just because you didn't say Amazon doesn't mean that they're not watching, right? Somebody had said Google at one point in time. I don't know what the heck they're doing.
Well, they're not on this list, but this is just the confirmed interested.
Confirmed. You're right, but that doesn't mean watching something from afar doesn't mean that you won't step in and do something later on. I mean, how many times have we seen people Crackdown, right? Perfect example. Yet again, that team was bought out from underneath them while they were working on Crackdown, so they had to go back and start over with that technology and rebuild everything, right? So it was bought from underneath them. Who's to say that Amazon doesn't come in and do the same thing? We need more studios. We need more technology. We need more workers that know this stuff, so we can push out and be competitive. So it's hard to say.
Wise Old Gamer, what do you think? Do you got your mic set up?
Nope.
You're really, really quiet.
I don't even hear him. Yeah, he's very quiet.
Yeah, try and fix that because you're super quiet right now.
Once you fix that, let me give you a hint. Use the mute on StreamYard. Don't mute your microphone itself. It's probably affecting the computer connection. So anyway, while he figures this out, we'll just keep talking, and eventually when we hear you, we'll let you know that we hear you. But yet again, that's the whole thing. What comes with it? What doesn't come with it? There's so much information that we don't know, and at the same time, there's other people that are sitting in the back, right? How many times have we seen these bidding wars, and then somebody else from out of left field goes, you know what? I want them.
Mm-hmm.
And they outbid everybody. The housing market, prime example. You know that.
Yeah, I wish I didn't right now.
Unfortunately. But
yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know, but I think NetherRealm will be above. Yet again, it also depends on what they come with. We still, unfortunately, unless I know 100% Mortal Kombat and the DC license doesn't come with it, so the crossover for Mortal Kombat versus DC will be dead from here on out. But does that mean Mortal Kombat's coming? If it's just NetherRealm, no technology or just the basic technology that they have, but no, nothing from anything that they've ever worked on comes with them. Would they be worth that? I wouldn't think so. There's no, you know what I mean? Because you're starting over again. You're starting fresh. You might as well be starting fresh with the initiative. But they're doing it with they're coming back to an old game, trying to remake an old game. You know, what are they going to do?
Well, that's one question. But I can't believe you guys aren't more worried about the monopoly thing being brought up again, because it's being thrown out there a lot right now. And then if Microsoft does get Activision, then like any studio, I would imagine any studio, any type of acquisition that Xbox made, they're only going to throw a bigger fit. And that's everybody. That's everyone that's doing it now.
One studio is not going to change the monopoly setting. I mean, yes, you will get the fanatics yet again. Oh my God, they're buying. Sony just bought somebody. Who cares?
Right.
You know? So yet again, it all depends on what they're buying, how much they're buying. You know, if they're only buying a couple studios, because that was the other rumors that Xbox would be buying 2 studios. Sony might be going in for another couple studios. Amazon would be trying to get another studio. They're like, people are piecing out where these studios would fit to these different companies, right? And this is, you know, their fantasy football on where these studios would go to, which players. Oh, I think I hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay, great. Yeah, I had to.
Chime in.
Yes. So I mean, to be honest with you, it is a hard cap of $5 billion. Is what you said?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything $5 billion
But
and above will be looked into. So
anything
that's
below,
the magic number.
Yeah, and anything below theoretically would go with no issues.
Right.
So I mean, I think Xbox definitely needs to go ahead and get NetherRealms, because NetherRealms, they don't have to worry about any more IPs, because NetherRealms comes with their own host of Mortal Kombat characters. Nobody else owns them besides NetherRealms. Is that correct? I think that is correct, because that's what they were talking a long time ago when they were actually thinking about buying WB outright. Everyone was arguing that, okay, yeah, Batman doesn't come with the WB acquisition for games with Rocksteady, but all of Mortal Kombat's characters do. So Xbox has been looking into getting into the fighting space. They are looking for somebody to make their new Killer Instinct game. So I think NetherRealms is a shoe-in for that. And what's this guy's name? I'm having a brain fart. What is that guy? Ed Boon. He said that he is interested in doing maybe a crossover with Killer Instinct at one time. And I think Phil Spencer, liked that tweet or something. Excuse me. So, yeah, NetherRealms. But is NetherRealms worth $5 billion or less? I don't think so. I think at most Microsoft pays for NetherRealms is $1 billion. And that's being generous. And that's mainly because of all of the characters that come with it. Now, with Rocksteady and them, the thing is this, with WB Games, yeah, all of these developers do not technically have the DC license, but it seems really hard-pressed for me to believe that WB would sell off their developers that develop these games for DC and then just basically not allow them to make more DC character games, because it's more in their best interest to keep that sort of that buzz going. Because right now Marvel, whether you like the Avengers or not, Marvel's right now, because of Spider-Man, because of whatever Wolverine buzz is coming out, they're firing on all cylinders. Marvel's movies are also firing on all cylinders. The only thing right now DC got going for them is the comic books. So I think it's in DC's best interest to keep, the franchises with like Rocksteady and Eidos Montreal as well. So it's not that, I think that it's not going to benefit DC any. I think it's basically I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So I think whoever ends up buying Rocksteady and Eidos Montreal, they will also get the license.
Well, they could also do where whoever buys Rocksteady owns the company, but they still license it, and that's why like a lot of these other companies like Disney, they would license their products out to somebody. If it fails, it's on that company. If they made profits, they make profits. So WB could be doing the same thing. You buy the studio, so we don't have that loss in the main, up front, where now you take the loss. Let's say Xbox buys them, right? So because we want the PlayStation versus Xbox, so DC versus Marvel. So they're going to have all the potential loss if it fails, but WB will get really the majority of the profits if it doesn't fail, if they make a good game. So it doesn't really affect them too much either way. So that's always a possibility when it comes to that. Now, the question is, do you think this is a monopoly? I say no. It's if they buy 1 or 2 studios, it's different than buying 30 studios. So this is not a monopoly. What do you think?
Well, a monopoly, I don't think so either. Because again, who is that? There's this there's this publisher out there, and I heard his name being mentioned in Boom's shows over and over again. They own like 150 developers. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Monolith?
No, not Monolith. There's another company.
No. Not Monolith.
It starts with an E, or I think so. It's this company that owns like 150 developers.
Yeah, they're the number one.
Yeah.
They're the ones I was talking about earlier that I was referencing. I can't remember their name.
So how many studios does WB have that they're putting on the chopping block? About what, 10 at most right now? So even if Microsoft buys all of them, lock, stock, and barrel, that's still only 40 studios. So how is that a monopoly? So that's my thinking. There's no way.
Embracer Group. That's it.
Embracer Group. Sorry. And the way Microsoft is sort of like, and the way Microsoft is doing it is like, okay, we're going to put some of our franchises on PlayStation. We're putting our franchises on the PC. Yeah, I just don't see how that becomes a monopoly. Number one, you don't have the lion's share amount of developers, and number two, you're sort of opening your platform up to everybody. So I don't see in any way, shape, or form how can this be taken negatively or become a monopoly anyway. So, and plus, even with, say, the purchase of Activision Blizzard, if it goes through, Microsoft is still number 3 when it comes to publishers, below both PlayStation and Nintendo. So.
All right, well, let's go ahead and end the show there. Thanks, everyone that came out to the show. Dreadpool, thank you for coming out and sharing your differing opinions with us, because I love differing opinions. To me, that's what makes a good podcast. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to have your closing statements and let everyone know where they can find you starting now. Go.
Closing statement. It's going to be Swami Bob. You can find me. That's your name from now on. I don't care. I don't care if it's White Little Asian or not. Swami Bob. But you can find me on Game Beyond the Box Wednesday nights, Breakfast Boom on Friday mornings, Breaking Bread with Dread everywhere that you look up on any podcast. Obviously here when I guest, apparently I'm going to be a guest here and there. I didn't think I was welcome after I keep on threatening to take down Titan on his corner, but corners no more. So, but no, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting these guys for taking over and trying to do something with GAD and making it their own. So again, everybody that's been here, you guys make this show work. Everybody that's going to be watching after the fact, you guys are going to help keep going with this show for these guys to feel the love that we all have for our community members. And this is just another group that's doing a podcast that have their varying opinions, and we got to promote the health of the industry, not the degradation of it.
Promote the good guys, right? Wise Old Gamer, same thing, only 15 seconds. Go.
Okay, yeah, so you can catch me here every Sunday at 5 p.m. You can also catch me Friday evenings on Doomsayers Podcast, the Order of Disorder podcast. It starts at 5:30 Central as well, and Sunday mornings on Doomsayers Podcast, Order of Disorder. Follow me on...
And you're out of time. Thank you, Wise Old Gamer. Anyways, everyone,
we'll catch you next week.
Same time, same place. Till next week, everybody, let's bring the common back to sense.